The UK Immigration White Paper, released on May 12, 2025, marks a stark shift in the country's approach to immigration. Gone are the days of open doors and welcoming embraces. The paper, with its focus on reducing net migration, signals a new era of tightened borders and stringent requirements. The message is clear. Britain is prioritising its own. This inward turn has sent ripples of uncertainty across the globe, particularly in African nations with historically strong ties to the UK. For many, the dream of building a life in Britain has suddenly dimmed, replaced by a sense of exclusion and disillusionment. The paper's emphasis on domestic workforce development, while understandable, comes at a cost: the aspirations of countless individuals seeking opportunity beyond their shores. This shift in policy is driven by a complex interplay of factors. The government cites the need to control population growth, alleviate pressure on public services, and address concerns about cultural integration. However, critics argue that the true motivations lie in a potent mix of nationalism, economic anxiety, and a desire to appease anti-immigration sentiment. Whatever the reasons, the consequences for Africa, and particularly for countries like Nigeria with deep-rooted connections to the UK, are likely to be significant. The paper outlines a series of changes designed to make immigration to the UK more difficult and less appealing. These changes, ranging from increased skill requirements to reduced post-study work opportunities, will disproportionately impact individuals and families from developing countries, particularly those in Africa, who often face greater barriers to meeting the new, more stringent criteria. The UK has long been a beacon for skilled professionals seeking better opportunities. However, the new Immigration White Paper raises the drawbridge, making entry significantly more challenging, particularly for Africans. The paper introduces a points-based system with a greater emphasis on skills, qualifications, and English language proficiency. One of the most significant changes is the increase in the minimum skill level requirement to RQF6, equivalent to a bachelor's degree. This new threshold will undoubtedly impact African professionals, many of whom may not have had the opportunity to pursue higher education due to limited access and financial constraints. While the UK seeks to attract the brightest and the best, this move risks excluding a vast pool of talented individuals who could contribute significantly to the British economy. Adding to the challenge is the heightened English language requirement. Applicants and their dependents are now expected to demonstrate B2 level proficiency, a significant step up from the previous B1 requirement. While English is widely spoken in many African countries, achieving this level of fluency can be a daunting task, requiring significant time, effort, and financial resources. The White Paper does offer some glimmers of hope for highly skilled Africans. The expansion of routes such as the Global Talent, Innovator Founder, and High Potential Individual visas suggests a continued interest in attracting top-tier talent. However, these pathways are often highly competitive and may not provide a realistic option for the vast majority of aspiring immigrants. For many African professionals, the dream of working in the UK now seems like a distant prospect, hampered by a system that appears increasingly designed to keep them out. The UK's social care sector, grappling with staff shortages and an ageing population, has long relied on the contributions of foreign workers, particularly from Africa. However, the new Immigration White Paper slams the door shut on this vital pipeline, ending overseas recruitment for social care visas. While existing workers are granted a temporary reprieve, allowing them to extend visas and switch roles until 2028, the long-term implications are dire. This decision has sent shockwaves through the African healthcare community. For years, nurses, caregivers, and support staff from countries like Nigeria, Ghana, and Kenya have filled critical gaps in the UK's social care system, providing compassionate care to the elderly and vulnerable. Many were drawn to the UK with the promise of better wages, professional development opportunities, and the chance to build a better life for themselves and their families. The end of overseas recruitment for social care will have far-reaching consequences. The UK is already facing a staffing crisis in the sector, and this policy change will only exacerbate the problem. Care homes and other facilities will struggle to fill vacancies, potentially compromising the quality of care for those who need it most. Meanwhile, thousands of skilled and dedicated African healthcare workers are left with uncertain futures. their dreams of contributing to British society, dashed by a policy that prioritises short-term political gain over long-term sustainability. The UK has long been a coveted destination for international students, attracting bright minds from across the globe, including Africa. However, the new immigration white paper casts a long shadow over the future of African students seeking to pursue their educational aspirations in Britain. While the government maintains its commitment to attracting top talent, the new policies paint a less welcoming picture, creating uncertainty and apprehension among prospective students. One of the most significant changes is the reduction of the post-study work visa from 2 years to just 18 months. This change directly impacts the ability of international students to recoup their investment in a UK education and gain valuable work experience. For African students, who often face higher tuition fees and living expenses, this shortened window of opportunity diminishes the attractiveness of studying in the UK. Adding to the financial burden is the potential introduction of a levy on international students to fund domestic skills training. While the details of this levy remain unclear, it represents an additional cost for African students already grappling with the high expenses associated with studying abroad. This financial hurdle could deter talented individuals from pursuing their educational goals in the UK, potentially depriving the country of their skills and contributions.